But first, at 6 today, the U.S. Supreme Court heard oral arguments from former President Donald Trump's attorneys seeking to convince the justices that U.S. presidents have immunity from prosecution for crimes allegedly committed while in office.
That's right. So that argument stems from the federal election interference case against Mr. Trump. Investigative reporter Zach Merchant joining us now. It could also impact the case right here in Fulton County.
It absolutely could. And as with most issues that reach the Supreme Court, it's still a bit of an open question where the court will land on this. The idea of presidential immunity from criminal prosecution is an untested legal theory, but the court's ultimate decision could have a big impact on the local Fulton County election interference case against the former president.
We're almost in unknown territory. I mean, Trump's lawyer is asserting basically the issue that all presidents have total immunity from prosecution.
Former Gwinnett County DA Danny Porter says how the high court answers that question could have a major impact on the ongoing Fulton County election interference case against Mr. Trump. Robert James, a former DeKalb County district attorney, agreed.
It could have significant effects, right? It could be destructive, completely destructive to the case here in Fulton County if the Supreme Court rules that he has immunity.
In January, former President Trump's lawyers in Atlanta made a similar immunity argument to Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee, writing in a motion that the president's absolute immunity shields him from criminal prosecution. So far, Judge McAfee has not ruled on the motion. Porter believes the judge is waiting to see how the justices of the Supreme Court decide the federal immunity case before them.
They all seem to recognize that this is a critical issue approaching November. I think that they basically are gonna fast track it in Supreme Court terms, which could mean a month, it could mean 2 months.
That timeline is Danny Porter's prediction. Ultimately, though, the Supreme Court has wide latitude on when to release their decision. So right now, it is impossible to say with certainty what or when the justices will rule.
And so, Zach, we don't know, like you just said,
can't say for sure
what's going to happen. But if they do rule in favor of this, they adopt this idea of immunity, does that kill the case here in Fulton County?
As with a lot of great legal questions, the answer depends a little bit. And we want to be clear, the phrase absolute immunity is being thrown around a lot in court and in briefs. But really what we're talking about is the question of immunity for actions taken in the president's official role as chief executive. So even if the court sides with Mr. Trump following today's oral arguments, Fulton County DA Fani Willis and her staff of prosecutors might still be able to argue that their case should be allowed to continue at the state level because, in their view, Mr. Trump's allegedly criminal conduct happened when he was acting as a campaigner or a candidate, basically outside of the official role of the president. And of course, we should mention it's all a big if. The court could also rule against the former president's immunity claim, making all of this a moot point. Right now, a lot of balls in the air. We can't say with certainty yet.
Yeah, always a lot to keep an eye on with this. Zach, thank you so much. And for a full breakdown of our coverage of the Georgia election interference case, visit our website, 11alive.com.